Today we're going to learn an awesome Soundgarden riff, so stay tuned after the demo for the full lesson. Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to learn a fun Soundgarden riff. Today the drop CG tuning returns today in this lesson because we are learning Mailman from Superunknown, which is track number 4, I believe. I think it's right after Black Hole Sun on the record, if I remember correctly. Not 100% on that. There's 14 songs on that, so bound to get things mixed up there. Anyway, we're back in drop CG, like I said. So, of course, our tuning notes today are going to be lowest string C. And then next string is a G. And then we have a D. And then a G again. And then a B. And then we're going to have an E note. And that is your tuning for today. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And of course, the song opens up with this weird chord here. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to take our first finger, put that on the 10th fret of this low G. We're going to take our third finger, put it on the 12th fret of this other G here. Then our pinky is going to go on the 13th fret of the D string. And if we don't mute everything there, then we will get this sound here. And this is kind of a tricky chord to do. It can be really hard to not mute everything here. And then of course we start with by strumming this, I believe, it's 7 or 8 times. I think 8 makes more sense because it would be, because then that would be every quarter note and that fits in the measure nicely. So we would have this here to open the song. Actually, I think it's actually 7 times that you hit that because it sounds a little bit off kilter. Of course, you open with that section there. And then we go into the main riff here, which is going to start with a power chord here on the 5th fret of this low G and the D string here. And we're going to hit that. And then we're going to go to the open C string. And then we're going to repeat that inverse and then do open C again back to the power chord on the 5th fret here. So you should have this. And that's kind of the pattern there for the main riff, and it sort of repeats several times in the song like this. And I like to do this little move here to mute that open C so it's not ringing out the whole time. You just put your finger back down on it and it quiets it back down. So yeah, it's not ringing out. This riff's a little bit staccato, just a little bit. And once we've done this little vamp here a few times, ending with that open C, we go down here to the 10th fret. We're on the same strings, the low G and the low D again. We're making a power chord. and then we just play 10, 9, 8 like this. Very mean, sinister sound. And we go back to the vamp again. And then our second part of this riff here is going to be this little walk down here. So we're going to have the 3rd fret of the low G here, 4th fret of the C, and then the 3rd fret of the low C. Make sure you get a little bit of vibrato on that last note there. There's just a tiny bit on there just to make it sound a little cooler, give it more attitude. And then we go back to the vamp again. And then this time we're going to go back to our chord down here, which is our 10th fret of the low G, 13th fret of the D, and then 12th fret of the normal G string down here. And then you go back to the vamp again. This ending is always a little bit confusing, but I think it's this open C, and then we go to these power chords here. So we're going to do the vamp again. And then we're going to have a power chord here on the 5th fret of the low C and the G here. And you might want to do 2 fingers on this so you don't accidentally bar down on this D string here. But of course, if you get your knuckle in the right place, you won't have that problem. And then you go down to the 3rd fret power chord. Then we go 3rd fret power chord for the G and D here. So we move a finger up a fret here, or up a string. And then slide this back to the, slide that into the 5th and strum the 5th after the slide. So you want it to ring a little bit after the slide and then hit it again. Like that. So your ending would be like this. And then we turn back around and play the same thing again after that, and then it will go into the chorus. So our opening for the song here, of course, just this chord again. And then the main riff here, we're going to play it again one time through so you guys can hear it all together. And there it is there. This transition from this to this here, that is the trickiest part of this song, is being able to move down here and make that chord after you've gotten to the end of the vamp there. So that can be a little tricky. You got to be quick at it. Luckily, hitting this open C string twice here like it does gives you a little bit more leeway to do that. So, you know, just practice it a little bit and you should be able to get your fingers there in that amount of time. So, and then after we've done that verse riff, we go to the chorus riff here. So we slide back into this so once we've played through that verse riff a couple times here, we're going to go to the chorus, which does not have the same turnaround that we did before, because we're going to get to the end of the vamp like normal, and then we're going to transition into something else here. We're going to go to these power chords up here like we did before, and after that it's going to change. So we're going to have this power chord on the 5th fret of the low C and the G here. Then you're going to go to the 3rd power chord here, play it twice. Then you're going to go to a power chord on the 1st fret of the G and D here. And then you're going to slide it up to the 3rd fret. And then you're going to play open power chord on those 2 strings 4 times. And then you're going to go to the 5th fret power chord on the G and D. Then open power chord again. And then back to these guys here. Back to the 1st fret of the G and D. And then you're going to play this open power chord a few more times than you did the first time through. And then you go back into the verse riff after that one. And altogether it's going to be like this. And then we go back into the verse riff again, like we did before there. As for the transition into the chorus there, I'm not entirely sure. I'm doing this from memory. I do know this song pretty well, so I think I am correct on that. But the transition may be different. You may do that vamp and then do this open power chord on the G and D. And then go into that part after you do the verse vamp here. So it might be like that, or it may just be open C straight in. Or it may just be the open C and straight into that. Alright, there's one last part that I'm going to talk about really quickly with the rhythm guitars that I did not do in the demo, because the main part is, of course, this verse and chorus riff. But anyway, there's a B section kind of here. I mean, it's on a verse, I think, so it's basically the same thing, but they just do a little change up to a slightly different riff here in this B section. And it's going to start like we did before on the verse riff. So like that, you're going to have the 5th fret power chord, G and D, open C twice, back to this, and then after that it's going to change, and we're going to do the same pattern, but we're going to fret the 3rd fret of the low C instead of playing the open C. So it would be like this. Like that, and then we're going to do that again. After we've done in this 3rd fret, we're going to do the 5th fret instead of the typical open C note there. So it's going to be like this. And then after that, we're going to have a little 3-note walk down here, or 3-chord walk down. So we're going to do the usual 5th fret power chord again, but we're going to walk down to the 4 and 3. So altogether, this B section riff is going to be like this. And then that repeats, how many times? I think it's like 6 or so. Could be a full 8, so they could be doing full bars there. A full 8-bar section, which would make more sense, obviously, there. Anyway, after that, you know, this song is not very complicated. It really just is those 3 riffs there. And it's important to note the kind of writing idea you have with a main vamp in a verse like that, and then ending it with a different idea each time. That's a really good writing tool to use. If you've got an idea, but you're not really sure where else to go with it, you know, just play it several times and add something else on top of it at the end. And that's a really clever and useful technique there. And it's something that I really do like and have used on some things before. And it's always a good idea to have in your back pocket if you're not sure what to do with something. And anyway, you know, besides the solo, which I could do a separate video on that at some point, Mailman solo is very underrated, and I do like it quite a bit. I've done it on my Instagram before, although it's been like a year at least, so I could probably play it a lot better now than I did back then. Anyway, just the quick riff lesson here today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that. Like and subscribe if you did. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you know when a new video comes out. And with that, I will see you guys for another video next time. Goodbye.